In this talk series, we focused on COVID, natural disasters, and the purpose of a human being. Then we looked at who am I, my master, and his message. In the last topic of real and unreal in evolution, we analyzed the empirical truth and our senses captivated by illusion. We also discussed what is humanity in the evolutionary cycle, what were we before birth, what we will be after death, how our mind filled with ego is playing a role in our existence, who is governing the nature, and why are the reasons we have COVID and other natural disasters. I will call this topic, which we are going to discuss now, as the message of truth before we discuss the godly character which will protect us to lead a harmonious future. As a normal human being, we cannot penetrate the firewall beyond this human life. We have created that lifestyle and blinded ourselves from knowing the existence of eternal happiness beyond this firewall. If we must learn what exists beyond this firewall, we should have interest, liking, and craving to seek it. Unfortunately, it is a subject can only be realized with our own efforts to validate it. Our own efforts will reveal that truth. That truth will reveal the deathless state of our existence. We should take effort in that direction. Our own past deeds transpired as karma and blocking us from achieving it. But our sincere efforts will not go unanswered. If we cannot penetrate this firewall beyond the human life, we should seek the help from someone who has penetrated it. My master has penetrated that firewall. Not only that, he has also traveled thousands and thousands of miles beyond it. He realized the supreme existence. Anyone traveled that far in that state of trance will be revealed with the constitution and functions of the creation. My master acquired the knowledge of evolution and the existence of post-human life. He has seen the impact we caused with our behavior to the future. He finds the evolutionary plan is not aligning with the mindset of humans. He realizes the current period of our existence will be challenging and will be challenged by nature with natural disasters. He has the solution to these problems. That solution is what is the intent of this talk series. He wants to bring this awareness to people. This message shows the effective life path to secure our future. He has shared this knowledge with me and my organization, brothers and sisters. We are ready to relay this message to anyone. This knowledge is important for every human, no matter whether we are a Hindu or Muslim or Christian or Buddhist or Sikh or whatever religion one belongs. Or we don't believe in any religion or faith and lead a life of atheists or agnostics. We can remain in that very same religion or belief and practice these godly characters. My master says every religion has truth in it and it came from the same source. These religions originated with an intent to scale up the human aware consciousness to supreme consciousness by complying with the aspirations of the people and culture in that region. So no religion is inferior or superior, and such claims will impact the spiritual progress of that individual negatively in their post-human life, because any such claim has ego component which will lead to spiritual downfall. My master also says to realize supreme consciousness, one need not be a Brahminic class who are generally priests in Hinduism. One need not be a pastoral class who are the leaders of Christian congregation. One need not be an imam class who are the leaders of Islamic worship. One need not be a monk class who meditate and chant religious texts in Buddhism. One need not be a Granthi who is a priest in Sikhism. One need not be any religious priest or leader from any religion. Being a human is the only qualification to realize the supreme consciousness. withstanding the life struggles and accepting the life as it is presented and moving on bravely is the easiest way to eliminate the karma. Everyone in their own post-human life can attain the superior angelic life with their destined lifestyle by embracing these godly characters. I will lay out those characters as my master mentioned in this talk series. The important point my master makes is one can lead a life of service with selfless sacrifices to their relationships, friends, and society to attain their superior state in post-human life without any additional efforts or prayers and worship. All matters here are the attitude of selfless service and sacrifices each make in their efforts in life. So we can practice our way of life no matter whatever profession we are in to serve the family and society with honesty and responsibility without attachment to the desires in life. The moment we have attachment, we add ego element with the feel of superiority, actions of self-serving, feeling of jealousy, and so on, and lose the purity in our service. Many of us don't realize the impact it is causing the post-human life. Everyone in their life, by accepting the fate which has landed them with sufferings and happiness, should realize that nature has carved that path of life for them. It is due to their past and for them to correct and steer up their post-human life. Human life is given with the fate they are enduring today. That fate will yield the outcome of happiness and sadness. When we make efforts to alter it, we fail and we get frustrated. There are many I have seen in my own life who are extremely good in their profession, in the desire of wealth, control and power, will start businesses or try to become politicians, entertainer, etc., and end up failing miserably. That is because their fate is working against them. Their fate is helping by excelling their post-human life. For their past life with an attitude of disrespect, abuse of power, mistreating the poor, they must endure the similar difficulties in this life. Thus, they are born to a poor family and made poor. Some get luck in their life journey and accumulate wealth. That is again due to the fate which has given a destiny for their good actions in the past. With an attitude of cursing the enemy fighters, one ends up born in the enemy side in the next life. With an attitude of supremacy of the religion and denigrating other religions, one ends up being born in this life on their religion they were denigrating earlier. With an attitude of giving and enabling the needy, one will have this life with full of inherited wealth and luck playing by their side. Our past attitude has created the present life. This is called law of cause and effect. Only way to get out of this cycle is to accept the life. When we fail and realize that nature is not syncing with our attitude and efforts, and we should change and lead a life with nature accepting it, because that is the legacy we have left in the past, and for us to repair it and steer above in the spiritual journey, we have to accept that way of life. No matter we believe or accept whether there is spiritual life, we all are guided by nature and lead a life here on earth, and hence nature creates the nullifying effects for our past actions. It is foolish to think we did everything. Note that we can do that everything because nature blessed it. At the same time, we are not able to do that everything because nature is not blessing it. This is the truth, and it applies to every human in this earth. When the fate is rolled as carpet for us to walk the path, any number of spiritual actions or efforts like rituals, meditation, prayers, pilgrimages, renouncement, and worship is not going to help us in this world to excel in the path nature has carved out for us. The exceptions from these could occur only after we utilize the free will provided to us by seeking personality changes, aggressively matching the godly characters. because that alone will inspire the nature to function in our favor. So, one can attain the superiority in angelic life naturally with the lifestyle they are faced with by accepting the life as what nature has given. One can drive that life with vigor by embracing the godly characters my master prescribes, which we will see in this talk series. The characters we are going to discuss as godly characters is naturally followed by the enlightened either at birth or sometime in their life with their spiritual efforts. If they don't have these characters, then we can confidently say they are not enlightened, because enlightened means they merged with supreme consciousness, and that supreme consciousness has these characters. This should give an understanding of the message my master wants to relay to this humanity. There are two basic characters or soul possessors. Those are detachment and pure love. If a car has to go smoothly to the destination, the first opposing force which prevents it is the wind. We can also say it is a breeze or air too. The second item needed for the vehicle to travel is fuel. Likewise, in our life travel towards the destination of supreme consciousness, our own ego plays the role of wind, which is opposing us in that travel. If we embrace the soul's natural characters, we can eliminate the ego and travel in that direction. One of that soul characters is detachment. With detachment, we will eliminate the ego wind. This ego wind is blocking us or creating friction in our travel towards supreme consciousness. The other soul character we need to embrace is pure love. This character will give momentum like fuel to travel. These two characters we will delve very closely in our next topic in this talk series. Our own ancestors, in their enlightenment, have discovered the methods to attain supreme consciousness. Those methods are called yoga. Yoga means going beyond the human consciousness. These methods are present today with the ancient names like Hatha Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Kriya Yoga, and Kaya Kalpa Yoga. Mostly, each of these methods are combined to achieve the results. All these yoga methods will vaporize the I ego in human and enables mind to merge with the soul. Reaching the soul is tantamount to soaking in supreme consciousness. Bhakti Yoga is an action with surrendering devotion to God. With this devotion, one can go beyond the human aware consciousness. This method is practiced predominantly in Islam and Hinduism. Karma Yoga means one should perform his or her duties without any ill wills and also with a feeling of service and gratitude to everyone. This attitude of service eliminates the I ego. This method is predominantly followed in Christianity. Raja Yoga is a practice of meditation, breath control, and mind control through which I ego is removed. This is predominantly followed in Buddhism. Jnana Yoga is a path of acquiring scriptural knowledge and living a life by practicing what is learnt. This is predominantly followed by Brahmins and other communities in Hinduism. Hatha Yoga is a body stretching exercise where the breath, mind, and body is controlled. This is followed by renounced monks to advance quickly. Kaya Kalpa Yoga is with the master's spiritual strength, master can bless the sincere disciple to advance spiritually. Master will indulge in such blessings only for the disciples whom the master observes befits such blessing. All these methods are still present with us to follow, but these techniques in this fast-moving world cannot be followed sincerely, and one will find their own fate or karma blocking their progress. The easy way in this modern world, which is the most apt method to attain supreme consciousness, is by embracing the godly characters. This is a Kriya Yoga. There are several interpretations to Kriya Yoga. What it actually means is every one of us have a destiny to attain the supreme consciousness. One can fast track by following spiritual methods to reach that destiny in a shorter time frame. For understanding's sake, let us say it takes 70 years of human life to achieve it. With our sincere mental and physical efforts in the direction of embracing godly characters, we can attain that in a shorter time frame, say 20 years. This method of embracing godly characters befits the definition of Kriya Yoga. That yoga method is what this talk series is all about. Any future enlightened saint will find this knowledge known in their realization of supreme existence. This method is the easiest and most apt method in this modern world. This method will burn all our karma fated to us. This method will burn our insane desires and focus on eternal happiness. If all of us aspire to achieve it by embracing these godly characters, we can transform the nature's behavior impacting our lives in earth. We can eliminate COVID. We can eliminate all other natural disasters. We can reverse the global warming. We can influence the nature. Nowadays, there is a lot of talk about yoga in every part of the world. All these words are synonymously understood as well-being of body and mind. People use words like stress-free, body stretching, calming the mind, good health, and so on. These are intermediate gains in the real progress of yoga. There are very few in this world who correlate it with the real meaning of merging or uniting the human mind with soul. The ultimate goal of yoga is realizing the self in us, but that original concept is lost and many equate yoga to human well-being. Human well-being does not contribute to eliminating the karma. Human well-being does not break the rebirth cycle. Human well-being does not contribute to better post-human state of life. Therefore, the understanding of human life and using the right yoga techniques to realize the self is important. Realizing the self alone will elevate one from human-aware consciousness to supreme consciousness to attain the eternal happiness. That attainment of supreme consciousness will reveal one to live with godly characters. Even if the God descends into a human flesh, he or she will exhibit the characters we are going to discuss in this talk series. Those characters are well known to every human, but we conveniently ignore it. Following these characters will break the boundary of human aware consciousness. If we fully accept these characters and embed into our day-to-day lifestyle, we can eliminate the I ego to larger extent. Elimination of I ego to larger extent will awaken the inner astral organs of any human. If the inner astral organs are awakened, we can realize the post-human state. That will reveal the presence of astral or celestial world. That realization is called Sabhi Kalpa Samadhi. We can further extend this method of practice to fully eliminate the I ego. In that state, one attains a trance state called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. In this state, the realm of truth and permanent existence is revealed. This is the state one will realize that God and that individual seeker are the same. This reach ends the journey we initiated millions and millions of years ago. In that state of progress, one will display only the godly characters. So, as a human, if we use our mighty intellect to propel our character to align with these godly characters, we can conquer our destiny. If we conquer our destiny, then that method complies with the template of Kriya Yoga. This Kriya Yoga method is what we all are going to learn. This method will elevate us towards God. Therefore, by following this method, we can conquer the destiny. What we willfully ignore will be forcefully pursued with nature pushing us in that direction. The byproduct of this effort, if taken as a goal in human life, is 1. we can avoid coming back to earth as a human or other living being by ridding the karma. The second byproduct is we will have a possibility of post-human life revelation in our human life itself. We all should understand that our human knowledge ends with human life because of its temporary nature. But by making the personality changes, we will be exposed with the permanent nature of our existence. With so much said about godly characters in this talk series, let us now focus on that topic in this series of talk. Our next topic of discussion will be detachment and pure love as baseline godly characters.